And now, Channel R presents Discover Spotlight, an exclusive series of interviews with our favorite emerging artists, taking you behind the music.
On today's Discover Spotlight, I'm speaking with Scottish singer, songwriter and artist Steven Lindsay. Interlopers is his new project, and we spoke about creating the new album 14 years after his last one with former band The Big Dish, plus bringing his art into his music, plans for touring and more. I hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes of Discover Spotlight. You call the album Interlopers, but is there one specific song on it that you're like putting out more than the rest, or is it just at the moment just the album as a whole?
Probably the album as a whole. I mean, Rainbow's End is out just now as a single, and I think it's probably the most sort of upbeat sounding maybe of the album. So it's been nice to see it picking up some. Is it traction? Is that what they call it these days?
Yes. Yeah, it's a good album overall. It is. I like all the different sounds to it. I see what you mean by the rainbow ends as well. But I wondered whether or not there was one specific you were, or whether or not it was just as a whole for yourself. Because it's been a long time, hasn't it, since you've written again?
Yeah. The last outing I had was 2007, I think. I did a couple of solo albums for Chrysalis. And then before that, it was 1991, 92, I think, when I was still in the Big Dish. So this is 14 years since the last release, I think. So it's the landscape's changed quite a bit in the music industry, but still, I'm still here.
That's it. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you've noticed a difference, though, haven't you, with streaming and TikTok and the way things are all put out now?
Yeah. I mean, not half. I mean, it's like the whole sort of marketing system's obviously different, with online and digital. I mean, I've kind of kept up, and although I haven't had an album out for 14 years, I've still been involved in the odd collaboration, with Lloyd Cole, and co-written with some people. So I've not, totally been detached from it. So it's not come as quite a shock as it would have done if I hadn't been still involved in music.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing, isn't it? To keep yourself sort of in the know, even if it's just a small amount, so you can see what's happening and what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
As you say, then it's not just such a shock, because it has gone in such a different direction and so quickly in a lot of ways, especially with COVID and everything. That sort of like threw everything even more so. I
know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of, people have been able to work more in isolation, and even when it comes to recording with different people, I mean, we can all do it. In your own back room these days. You don't even have to sort of be in the same room. Although when we started to record this album, we made a point of, there was COVID rules that we had to adhere to, but we made it like a proper album. We went into the studio one at a time and recorded with proper drums, and we tried to make it as analog and as kind of organic as possible. So thinking about the album was, people listen to it on vinyl and things like that. So that was the object.
I really do like that organic, proper sound where you can hear proper drums, you can hear a proper guitar, you can tell all the instruments properly and you can hear them. I'm not so much into all the digital more sound of it. I do like that.
I think you can tell. I mean, there's a place for programming. Of course there is, and everybody uses it to a certain extent. But I think to have, as you say, it's nice to sort of hear the warmth that you get from LPs and from recording in good studios. I think I don't think it's something that'll ever go away.
No, and you can hear the difference even in the singing. Even in a person's voice and in the song and the way the song's actually sung and everything as well, when it's done more in a recording studio with more of organic instruments than all programming. I think sometimes when it's just all program, it kind of takes some of it away.
It does. I mean, and I don't know, I think people can notice now when there's too much auto-tuning used, and it's became a feature, in some records, but I think it's, I don't know, I don't like, call me old-fashioned, but I'm not that wild about it.
I love it. Do you think that you like singing in your own accent as well? Just singing how you sing, like organically?
I think so. I mean, I'm obviously, I'm Scottish. I'm from
I know
Glasgow,
you are. Yeah.
as you can probably hear. And I don't sing as, there's a kind of halfway house, I think, from most Scottish musicians, where you're maybe, you're singing a wee bit in Scottish and a wee bit in kind of, I don't know, transatlantic or whatever it is. I mean, obviously you get bands like the Proclaimers who sing in, more a pure Scottish accent, which I think they do really well, and that's partly why they are, who they are. I think we've just got to watch that we don't try and sing too much like in an American accent, I think, and then people kind of think, oh, hang on.
What got you originally into deciding to come back and do an album then?
Well, I've been a painter, for the last 12 years or something like that. But and occasionally I've collaborated with different people and made some music. But again, it was lockdown, I suppose. Like a lot of other people at the start of it, I had more time in my hands because I had art exhibitions being cancelled, and I found I had the time to go back and look at things I had been writing and recording, and decided to, this is a great opportunity. So we got into the studio and started recording the album, and it came together quite quickly, So I think it was it's one of the few good things, I suppose, that came out of the lockdown.
Yeah, and was it all you said you co-wrote, didn't you? So what was your process there with your songwriting?
I wrote all the songs on the album. There's only one song that was it was co-written by Alan and Billy Mackenzie from the Associates.
That one, yeah.
And the rest I wrote myself. But the Twins of Gemini, which was the song I was just talking about, was something that was the Associates had written years ago and never finished. So Alan and I, Billy obviously sadly died years and years ago, and Alan and I got together and just finished the song, and we liked it, and I thought, you know what, it would fit nice on the Interlopers album, so it's like the bonus track on the CD.
That's good. And so this is you with a totally different, isn't it, a newer band, like new people. It's not anything to do with Big Fish now.
With the Big Dish?
Yeah.
No, it's people that I actually worked with a drummer before a few years ago, but no, it's a new thing, I mean, I like to try and I don't know, keep doing new things and make things interesting. So this is another new project for me.
Are you bringing your art into it then? So are you going to use your art for any of the covers or the?
I kind of design, I mean, I've always been involved in the album artwork, even from the Big Dish days and stuff. But so this was, it was a photo shoot I was doing, and it was me splattered in paint, as you maybe see, and it seemed to. It kind of fitted with the whole Interlopers thing, and the Interloper was also a painting that I had done for a collector in New York, so it kind of tied in with the name of the band and the name of the project, if you like.
Are you going to carry on with that then, with the art as well, alongside with this still? Yeah,
I mean, at the moment, I'm able to do the music, and as long as I will. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably always do both now. It's one of these things that I think it's quite healthy. I feel as if one informs the other, and it's kind of it keeps things fresh.
Yeah, and are you going to be getting out on the road?
Yeah, well, we did a couple of gigs there. We supported Deacon Blue in a couple of gigs in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
We did the Hydro, which was great in Glasgow. It's kind of big, sort of 12,000 seater, so that was good too. And that was just at the album launch time as well.
Oh.
And we're just about to confirm a gig in September in Glasgow, and then we're looking at coming down London and South, maybe beginning of next year. So that's all we're just trying to finalise that at the moment. But yeah, no, we'll be doing some gigs.
Are you going to put any singles out other than Rainbow End at the minute? Are you going to put any other ones out, or is it just going to be the album at the moment now?
Well, we'll probably, maybe next month we're talking about maybe putting a song called The North Sea out as the next single, and releasing the video on YouTube, etc. Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll think more about that as we go along, but hopefully the album being out at the moment is the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's all new, isn't it? I suppose, as you say, although it's not new, but it is.
Yeah, no, it's all new. No, you're right. It's not all new to me, but it's a fresh thing.
It's a new start, fresh one.
It's a new start.
Get this one out there, see how this goes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, I hope it goes really well for you. I mean, it's a great album.
Thanks, Tara. Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Great single, yeah. And maybe I'll get to see you sometime. Yeah. Come down south.
That would be great, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much for your time. I've enjoyed chatting to you.
Yeah, you too, Tara. Take care.
Take care of yourself. Thanks,
you
then.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Discover Spotlight. More music from the hottest emerging artists continues next on Channel R Discover.